not content with having made an absolute fortune in the rip-off on young working people to extortionate mortgages for which they will be paying for the next 40 years, when that massive splurge inevitably bursts, they want then to be bailed out for the crisis that they have created. I am saying it would be an absolute disaster if we pour the money into the bellies of these financial sharks and other financial sharks of the international bondholders who now see an opportunity to reap further billions on the backs of the Irish people. If we did that while neglecting our public services, while driving down the living standards of working people, public and private sector workers, that would be an absolute disaster for our society.
They have attacked our benefits. They have went after people where it hurts most. First of all, they have went after their pockets. They have done this in the context of transferring the biggest transfer of wealth that has ever taken place in this state, has been transferred from private debt to public debt. They have done that with the swish of a wand as if nobody knew all about it. But at the same time, they have taken money from the pockets of every citizen in the country who cannot afford it at this time.
This government will be remembered in history books as the government who brought this country to its knees. A government who ignored the basic needs of the citizens. A government who has made its people homeless, jobless and destroyed their faith in politics. A government has proven that even in the greatest wealth that this world has ever seen, they could not solve our problems. They have shown that through immense prosperity, their loyalty was not with us, the ordinary people. Their loyalty lay within a closed circle, and they ignored us. This government has proven that they no longer deserve our loyalty. It has failed to keep its promises in health, education, disability and social issues. This government needs to go.
I want to say that the policies that the Fianna Fáil Green Party government are pursuing will turn out to be an absolute disaster. By savaging the wages of public sector workers, by piling massive extra taxes on private sector workers, they are merely cutting down the money that those workers would spend on services and on goods in shops and in outlets throughout the country. And that means that the thousands of workers providing those services will now join the dole queue, along with the 400,000 plus that are there at the present time.
The reason we came together, like lots of other people who are here tonight, is because of everything that's happened in the past 12 to 18 months, and especially the cutbacks, the strategies and the policies that this government who sit tonight in the door behind me have implemented against us. They have, in effect, there has been a civil war for the last 18 months in this country by the politicians behind us, against the poor, against the disabled, against travellers, against women, against the working class, against almost everybody in this country who doesn't have the power. They have attacked them time.
Brian, we're massively in debt. How are we going to repay this debt?
Well, we've been talking to the fellows of the European Central Bank, don't you know? And in actual fact, we have a very good idea about exactly what we're going to do.
And what is the plan you have, Brian?
Well, we're hoping that the man who lent us the money will forget.
Hold on, let me get this right. You're hoping that the man who lent us the money, he's going to forget that we owe him the money?
Sorry, John, if you just let me make the point.
1 second.
We are being lent 55 million a day. That's a lot of knots.
Yes.
So there's a possibility that he might forget who the knots, and that 55 million could turn into 55,000. And in actual fact,
so
the debt will be much less.
Are hoping they're hanging the whole economic plan on the fact that this fella who we owe money to is going to forget a couple of knots.
We want to be treated fairly. We want the rich to be taxed. I want the normal people who have worked and made these people rich to get a fair crack at the whip. And that's all.
We've endured a 7.5% pay cut, the way of a pension levy, and that's as far as we're willing to go. Let other people bear the brunt as much as we have. You know, let the higher earners in this country bear some pain and bear some burden of responsibility, because we're done.
Well, we're here today because we feel that the government are not giving us a fair deal, and with what they propose at the moment, we certainly feel that our wages are going to be cut. They've been cut already about €90 a week as it is at the moment, and it's only going to get worse. So we're here to vent our anger at what has been proposed by the government in the upcoming budget.
Sick of being one of the sheep, or peering like I am, so we should get stuck into these affairs.
The government and certain sections of the media have deliberately or otherwise brought about a situation in this country where public sector workers providing those essential services have been vilified, have been insulted, have been degraded as if somehow they are a niche in society. Well, that is a disgrace.